Actually, when I was growing up, seriously, my mom, my dad, nobody sat me down to talk to me about sex life between couples or between the teenager. Nobody sat me down. I heard it from friends, and I remember those times I was even in the SU. And when they are talking about, they were like, "Oh, SU stuff, go and sit somewhere." But then I managed to, hear some few stuffs from them. So me, I heard it from friends. So now I think it would be appropriate for parents to teach their kids. There's nothing wrong letting them know about it, because when you grow up, definitely you get there. So I think it's a good thing. Parents should teach their words. Thank you.
So I think parents talking to their kids about sex is very important. I was fortunate enough to have my parents speak to me about sex from a very young age. They tell you what the reproductive organs are for and what can happen when you don't take care, and you get yourself involved in certain things that you shouldn't. So I think every child should have the conversation just with your parents. It gives you openness, it gives you freedom to communicate. There's the bond that forms too, and your kids can speak to you about anything and everything. So I think it's very important as parents and as children to have the conversation.
I personally have a relationship with my mom. So my mom sat me down growing up when I was getting to the university. She spoke about sex with me, and she told me it is important to be careful as a girl child. And I will advise every parent to sit their girl child or the male down to talk about sex, because it's very important to educate your child. I also read books about it.
My mom actually sat me down, and then she had this one-on-one talk, ladies talk, and then she told me that as I've now experienced my menses, or I've had my menses, I'm very careful not to have or to not come into contact with any other man or anybody, otherwise I'll get pregnant.
Growing up, I didn't really get the whole parents sitting you down to talk about sex and stuff. No. At least what I remember was I was told if you're a girl and you sleep with a guy, you will get pregnant. That is like the most of me getting a sex talk. I think parents should start very early, else children will start learning other things from other people, their perspectives, which are not right. They will just have a very distorted perspective about sex and things. So I think parents should start at a very early age.
I didn't really get that from my parents. Let's say probably because I didn't live with my parents, but where I lived to, I didn't really get the chance to, talk about sex, what it does, what it might bring on you and all that. But thank God for teachers. When I go to school, reproductive, that kind of thing, and then they taught us about sex, what it brings, when you should have sex, when you should not have sex, and all that. So basically, that was how I learned about sex.
So my parents did speak to me about sex at a tender age, 10. And I think it was really good, like very good, because they actually taught me the effects of having sex. And it has so many effects. It could lead to STDs, it could lead to teenage pregnancy, and ectopic pregnancies, different things. So I think parents should actually educate their children on sex and their effects.
I learned it on my own. Yeah. High school with friends and the internet, watching movies. Yeah. Okay, for now, I would say it's important to, stay just like married before sex. With the experiences I've had, I wouldn't advise anyone to have sex before marriage.
Personally, I think it's really important that parents educate their children on sex and then maybe abstinence and all those stuff, so that they make them aware. It's better to hear from the parents than to hear from their friends or go and read it.
Growing up, no one did, and I think it was bad in a way, because at a point when you start experiencing the edges for it, you need someone to talk to you. And when there is no one and you come out with the experiences, like with the words guys will say to entice you, I love you and all that, you might think it's really true. So with the edge and the edge to experience what you want to know from what entails the I love you word, you go ahead. And I think parents should do, because we didn't get it from our parents, and it was bad. was bad because I did not been probably church, I might say. The things we hear from church has encouraged us in a way that we don't want to go out there, meet someone and just fall for the person. But other than that, it would have been hell. So I think it's okay too.
Growing up, I didn't have a full lecture on sex from my parents, but they drop clues, they drop hints. They weren't really straight to the point, but yeah, they drop few information here and there. So, 17, I think 25. When I was grown, yeah. So at the age of 17, I think in the year, my 24th year, information is never outdated, and transfer of knowledge is very key. I believe we live in a world where we need to transfer good knowledge at a very tender age because technology is taking over wildly. If you can give a kid a phone at the age of 10, then I think that kid needs to know about sex. Because on the phone you have internet. You can always go on Google, surf on sites, and those sites are dangerous. I'd rather have my kid listen to me directly than to outsource sexual information online. So I think at the age of, there's no specific age. You live with a child. Just when you realize that the child is assimilating and grabbing things, actually entering adolescent stage, you need to start injecting that child with information, sex information. I think to me, that is what I would do, and that's what I would suggest everybody else does accordingly.
So sex talk between parents and their children or their wards. We're looking at who needs it more. Is it the gentlemen or the ladies? Personally, I would have said the ladies, coming from a guy's perspective. Now the truth is this: if I'm not told anything about sex and I go out there and I go and experiment, whatever be the case, I will come back home the same me. Nothing will transform in 9 months' time. But the lady, same thing doesn't happen to her, whereby she doesn't, and a guy influences her. The probability of her getting pregnant is high, and if she gets pregnant, she will be transformed. So basically, I think that though both sexes need it, but then ladies need it more because the dangers with them is a bit on a higher scale than with the guys.
Remember the young child yet, but what barn one yet da Charlie part internet automotion and my bet to you. What I say?
My view is both of them because of these sexual infections, STI, the gonorrhea and all that, because some is very complicated to treat.
Hey guys, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the notification button.